These 2025 NFL draft prospects have the upside to become dominant players in the NFL, but no one is talking about them. Stay tuned to find out which players we think are the biggest sleepers. Ryan, let's look past all the big names. Who is your number one most underrated prospect in the 2025 NFL draft?
David Walker, man, Central Arkansas, began his career at Southern Arkansas, transferred up to the FCS level. I understand that some people are going to look at him as a pass rusher and say he's a little bit shorter, doesn't have the greatest arm length in the world, but my man is 270 pounds, great pass rush plan, super slippery. You don't put up the numbers that you've been able to put up for the last 3 years if you are a very gifted pass rusher. And I think that he, honestly, Joe, could sneak into the top 100. Like, I would not be shocked at all if David Walker makes that type of ascension because he is one of the best pure pass rushers in this class.
Yeah, he's so unique. And I think that sometimes when we have these guys, they don't fit the typical mold. It's easy just to look past them without digging into the film. But when you dig in, he uses his size to his advantage to create such unique leverage. Linemen don't know what to do. He gets underneath them. No. He completely blows up their chests. They don't know what to do. They're freaking out. The Senior Bowl is a perfect example, and I implore anybody to go look back at some of his highlights. Just search up on Twitter, David Walker. You'll find some great plays. I'm going to turn here, Ryan, to another FCS guy, which is easy to always talk about with underrated, especially when most FCS guys transfer up. I have been talking about Charles Grant for multiple years now, the offensive lineman from William & Mary. Don't really have much information on him in the pre-draft because wasn't available for the Senior Bowl. Didn't really get a lot from him at the NFL Combine. But when you flip on the tape, you saw a 270-pound offensive tackle that was super fluid, was super mobile, super flexible, had long arms, and has now the flexibility as he's bulked up to 300 pounds to play multiple roles within an offense. A team, I think this is what's going to happen here. A team is going to draft him in the fourth, maybe third round, and they're going to look at their needs on the offensive line. They're going to say, you know what? We need a new left guard. You know what? We need a new right tackle, maybe even a new center. And we're going to work with him. We're going to work on his technique, and he's going to become a quality caliber guy. I really think he fits the billing of underrated that could go on to become a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I mean, he has all the talent in the world. If he's able to maintain his athleticism at 311 pounds, then I think we have a developmental starter on our hands in a Charles Grant without question. Let me take an offensive lineman. I'll raise you another. I have Chase Lunt, UConn, not quite FCS level, obviously, but a G5 player that has not gotten a ton of love in this pre-draft process. Similarly, because has been banged up and injured, was only able to participate at the Pro Day in a limited capacity, was not able to be in the All-Star circuit. But this young man is 6'8", over 300 pounds, really smooth mover, runs a lot of outside zone at UConn, and he really understands how to cut off from the backside. He understands how to work angles from the front side. He doesn't have the greatest length in the world, but when you have the foot quickness and understanding of playing with consistent leverage and good flexibility, I think that he can stay at offensive tackle in the next level without question and be a little bit of an arm outlier. But Chase Lunt, I think, is a future starting offensive tackle on the NFL level.
And he's one of those guys when you see him in person. I got to see him at the UConn Pro Day. He doesn't look like a tackle. This man looks like a bulked up tight end. He is a freak of nature, and he plays like it on film. Some of the most entertaining film that I've watched in the preseason. Also, after the season, he improved. He took that step forward that I was hoping for, and he's currently slotted as a second-round grade for me, Ryan. Another guy that I have an early day 2 grade on that could go maybe even in the end of the first round, had an awesome Senior Bowl performance. Darius Alexander, he was kick ass. They moved him around in those one-on-one drills. He used his hands so efficiently. He was swiping guys away. He was picking up speed once he was freed up and had room to go. I also was in love with his tape where he was ragdolling guys when he was playing in the MAC this past year. And he also has a pick 6, of course, on his highlights. I think that Darius Alexander has the upside to eventually become one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL if he hits.
I was going to say that a bigger school needs to go and pluck the whoever finds the talent at Toledo, but literally that's happened. Ricky Ciccone is actually at Washington State now, so he has already been plucked from Toledo. A little future maybe general manager conversation to have for some bigger programs there. Ricky's a tremendous talent evaluator. But Joe, I mean, it's almost becoming a ridiculous level that we're going from Quinyon Mitchell to now Maxon Hook and Darius Alexander. And then next year, we'll be talking about Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo as well. So there is a ton of talent on that defensive side of the football. Darius Alexander, 6'3", 305 pounds, really smooth mover. Really, I mean, just a man amongst boys on his level. And then he was able to go to the Senior Bowl and show that talent translates against the bigger cats that he was going against down in Mobile. And I think that translation will happen again in the NFL level as well.
We want to know in the comments. Tell us below, who is the biggest sleeper in your eyes in the 2025 NFL Draft? Let it boast somebody that you found that nobody's talking about. Tell us in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.